It's YouTube Wednesday! Ice. This here is the clear glue that I use for my blood. I get it for a ridiculous amount of money per gallon. It's less than 10 bucks. I showed you how to use food coloring to color the glue, and that works very well. Since then, I have switched to a So Strong tint that you get from Smooth On. This is just a red tint. Alright, I can use much less of this. I can use a lot less of this to tint something than it takes of the food coloring. Okay? So, I'll mix up a quick little batch of blood just to show you that. Clear glue into a baby food jar or whatever. This is a clear polymer glue. Put in just a couple drops of the colorant, which is the So Strong tint that I get from Smooth On. And you can see that this gets you a much darker blood faster than red food coloring does. Already, I'm pretty good in red there. I still like to put in just a drop of blue because I like my color. What I use doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it, because you might like a different color blood than me. A lot of folks like green. They want green in their blood. I like just a little bit. It's a very rich blood. So, that's the blood. Simple. Good starting point for what I'm about to do next. Ice. I have a container. I am putting in my blood gel. I am putting in a lesser amount of water. Not quite as much blood gel. I haven't measured it out. No idea exactly how much this is, and it's not important. You do want to mix it up. You can use a fork, use your hands, whatever. So I want this to be a little bit thinner than the blood gel normally, than the gel glue normally. Okay, get that off of my hand a little bit. And I'm going to put some water in it. And to that, I'm going to add borax. This is a laundry booster, is how it's most commonly sold. You can buy it at Tractor Supply stores. I've bought it at Walmart. It's a laundry product. Look for the laundry aisle. I've seen it at Lowe's. I have never found it at Home Depot, but I have found it at Lowe's. So I'm going to open this up. Okay. And I want to get borax into this baby food jar. I want as much in this jar as the water will hold. I don't want to see a sludge of borax down there at the bottom. That's probably too much. Alright, I'm putting it into a baby food. You don't have to use a baby food jar. You can use whatever you want to mix these two up. Okay? Right now, I do see borax at the bottom. So I've got a bit much in there. But I'm just going to pour it off the top. I'm going to let the borax settle. And what has absorbed into the water up top, that's what's going to work for me. Get this out of the way. Remember, this is just water and the glue. Okay? And I'm also doing ice tonight. I'm doing some ice. just a little bit. This is my glue. Okay, it's a little bit runny. It's nothing magical. I put in a little bit of this borax, not really a measured amount, and I am mixing it up. Okay? Immediately, you can see a difference. I now have some big viscous globs. Alright, I'm going to do that again. Just some nice, big, nasty stuff. I can add food coloring to this, but this is going to dry just like this. It's going to shrink up a little bit because the water is going to evaporate out of it. But we have linked all of those polymers together, okay, that make up the glue. So it's going to dry like that. This is icicles. Okay? You can make a lot of these for 10 bucks. And the 6 bucks it's going to cost for a thing of borax, which you won't use all. Already, it feels kind of like plastic. It's a little sticky, but not really. It's definitely not glue anymore. I can take it, squeeze a little bit of water out of it. And once I squeeze some water out of it, then I really have a nice, chunky thing. Now I've got a little bit of red on my fingers from the glue, from the blood, so you'll see a little bit of pink in this. Alright, but I'm going to go ahead and get this here. I use this on makeups for frozen people, because this came from non-toxic glue and laundry detergent. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I can zoom in on that so you can see that really well. This ice you can chunk apart, obviously, and use it on props. When you first pull it out of the liquid, it's like a sheet and you can drape it over top of the props, like something is covered in ice. I pulled it up and make icicles. If you hang it on something and let it dry, they dry just like that. They look just like icicles. This is the glue and water, okay, that's in my hand. It's not sticky. I can break it up, and it looks a lot like ice crystals. I can also kind of take it, form it back together. I can make a ball out of it if I wanted to. Okay, it's just really neat stuff. If you're doing something frozen for makeup, this is really cool. But I have some green food coloring. Just put a few drops in. Now what I have done is I've colored the water. This that was already in here, that didn't take on that much color. Okay, but what is really mixed, I can take my borax solution, pour in a little bit more. Now this is really going to be good green slime because it has that green in it to the core. Okay, and this is just, it's snot, it's nasty. It's cheap for an actor to use over and over again. It's wet and cold, but it doesn't stick once it gets a little bit drier than just out of the tub. Doesn't really stick. Doesn't leave too much of a residue. I really encourage you guys to play with this. This is just a nice material. I'm going to pour in more borax. I'll pour more water into my borax first. There we go. I just poured in plenty of borax there. But this is just nasty, nasty, nasty. Right there. Boom. You can, when it's sheet-like like that, when you pull it out, you can drape it over a prop. Get a different container. I'm going to put in more glue. Kind of just doing enough for a demo here. Remember, just a little bit less water than the glue. I don't want to dilute it too much. If I add more water, then what I can get is I can just get a slime, and it won't turn into a plastic like this, or a gel. This really is a gel, is the best way to describe it. I'll do a little bit more water for this one. Okay, so I've more than doubled the glue ratio here. I'm going to mix these up really well. So it's just a little bit thicker than water now. Okay, I have my borax still in my baby food jar. I'm going to shake that up really good again. I'm going to put into here just a couple drops of the red color. Tilt that a little bit. I have no idea if you'll be able to see that or not. Just tinting this water. You can see it's now pink. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in here because, again, I like the blue. Probably 2 or 3 drops of blue for this much blood. For me. So I like it almost purple. That's what I've got. Kind of a magenta right now. Alright, it's good and mixed. I'm going to put in some borax and get that good and mixed in. Now I have nasty gore. And this is non-toxic. This is nasty. You can put this on a wound. You can put this on an actor's skin. Really cool stuff. And it dries. It'll dry. It'll get hard when it dries, but that takes a good long time. I would put this slime on one of my actor's shoulders last season, Chuck the Zombie, and it would stay pretty gooey all night long, and it kept people from touching him, and he was a unfortunately handsome fellow, so it kept him from getting hit on because he was kind of covered in ox snot. But this now is good gore. And if you look at the back of my hand, it has stuck to the back of my hand. You know, it's thicker in some spots than it is in others. It's a really neat thing. Alright, it's not coming off of there, so as an actor, I could run around with this on me, on my hand, and it doesn't really stain my skin. My skin's not terribly pink under there, I just got to rub it off. It doesn't really stain your skin. If you put too much coloring in it, it will. But this is, it's so gross. Yeah, so be careful how much color you put it if you're going to put it on an actor. But this material, which is clear glue, like I make my blood out of, and borax, which is a laundry booster. Again, you get that at lots of places. But it also makes the darn good ice, like right here. And you can see that this, which has been out just a little bit, has hardened up a little bit, and it's got a similar texture, but I can break it apart. You know, I can break it up. This stuff here is really gooey, but that's water amount too. Remember, I put twice as much water in this one as I did as that. So keep that in mind when you're doing your mixes. Let me put in more borax. But if you have some organ props, you just want to drape this over, it will look so cool because you've got this chunky, stringy, nasty stuff. Really neat. And I'm really just playing with this on camera. You're not learning anything else. I've taught you about this. But yeah, it's awesome! Beware of the blob, it leaps and creeps and glides and slides across the floor.